Hey guys, welcome to my first ever YouTube video. My name's Eugene Mock and I created this channel to help people get to where they want to be in life. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. I hope you find the information here really useful. Just to be clear, this is not a channel to teach you how to invest, buy real estate, or even become super rich. This channel is simply to help people who are struggling to make ends meet, living paycheck to paycheck, or are in high school and you see how your family's struggling to survive and you just don't want that life for yourself. So if that sounds like you, this is where you should be. Most of my mentorship experience are with high school students, but this information is really applicable to anyone who isn't happy with where they are in life or the direction it's heading. I've personally lived through this process and firmly believe in the information that I'm going to share with you. I think if I would have had all of this information and experience when I first started at 14, it would have taken me years less to get to where I am today. If you like the content of this channel, make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button so you never miss a video. Doing so will also help YouTube get this content out to more people so we can help as many people as possible. You can also check out my 2 books on Amazon and help support this channel so we can keep making great content. One of them is a children's book. It's called Gwen the Caterpillar, A Story of Change. That one was created based on an analogy that I used in one of my high school mentorship groups, talking about how if you want to change into something else or someone different, you have to change what you do and the people you hang out with. So that's kind of cool if you just want to use that for an analogy or if you want to read it to little kids. The second book is Finding Your Own Path, A Guide for Changing Your Life. This is my most recent book, and this one is meant for high school kids or people in their early careers. But I guess it could even be applicable to anybody who is just looking to change the direction of their life. Um, for those of you who aren't readers, don't worry. It's only about a quarter of an inch thick and it's less than 100 pages. So don't be discouraged from checking out those books. There's a lot of great information in there that we may not get to on the YouTube channel. So if you get a chance, check those out. I'll put the links in the description below this video. That way you can find those pretty easily. I plan to post 2 videos a week on this channel. If we can get enough user interaction, I'll be able to post a 3rd one. So my plan for the bonus video would be on the weekend to answer any questions or topics you want to cover in the comments. So if you leave a question in the comments, that will be the content for our bonus 3rd video each week. So if that sounds like something you want or you want to engage a little more, make sure to leave a comment and I will respond to those either in the comments or in the weekly bonus video. So make sure to leave a comment. If I had to categorize this channel, I would say this is a life coaching channel. I know you see a lot of individuals try to get you to buy into their program or join for a $500 membership. This isn't what this channel is about. Any information I want to give for coaching will be in the videos. If you have questions, post them in the comments. We'll get to those in the bonus video, or you can check out my book. All right, so let's get started. The first thing that we need to do is we need to talk about having hope. This is the biggest thing that stops people from succeeding. So if you don't have hope that your future can be better, none of this information is going to seem useful to you because you'll think and you'll have the mindset that no matter what I do, it's not going to change anything. So you want to definitely make sure that you're in a hopeful place, that you have a mindset where you believe that you can accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. If you don't have that mindset, it's going to be really hard for you to keep moving forward. So first of all, a term I want you to be familiar with because I'm going to use it a lot is the term socioeconomics. Now, this can be a really complex term that you hear professors or sociologists use, but I'm going to break it down really small. This is just where you are in life. What's your social standing? What's your economic standing? So, this could include things like what kind of job you have, where you live, how much money you make, what groups you're a member of, and what recreational activities you take part in, as well as your education level, and a whole lot of other factors that put together show other people your standing in society. Now, why should you care about your economic standing or your socioeconomic standing? That's a great question because you may not care where you're ranked socially in society, but economically, we all want to make sure that we have enough money to pay our bills, make sure that we can provide for our family, whether that's food, clothing, and we want to also be able to take the vacations we want to go do and see the things that we want to. Growing up in poverty myself, there were a lot of things that I didn't know that people did or that people got to do because people in my neighborhood just didn't do those things. So I was never exposed to the middle class lifestyle until probably about high school, college. So it's really important to have those experiences, but we'll get more into those in a future video. So the first thing I want to get into and have you do is have a realistic understanding of your current location in life. You might want to put these on a piece of paper just so you can see them or type them into a Word document so that you have a visual to see, okay, where am I starting from on this journey? Because ultimately our goal is to improve your life standing, to get you where you want to go. So the first question is, what is my job status? Do you have a job? What level are you at within your company or your organization? For my high school students, usually they're in a fast food industry or some sort of food or service industry, and they're generally ranked towards the bottom of their organization. Second question is, what education or training do I have currently? So again, for my high school kids, they would say I'm currently working on obtaining a high school diploma. If you're in trade school or a vocational school, you might be able to say I have this certification or I'm working towards this certification. And you might have some skills that actually would be able to make you some more money. Question number 3, do I have financial or other responsibilities? So this one is going to differentiate for my high school viewers versus my adult viewers. So if you're an adult, you might have a mortgage to pay, you might have rent to pay, utilities, phone bill, car payment, and kids to take care of. Kids are very expensive. You might have pets. So list out any of those things. Again, question number 3 is, do I have financial or other responsibilities? These are all things that we're going to have to take into account when we make your plan for the future. So make sure to be very thorough here and have all of your responsibilities listed. Question number 4, am I mobile? Now, this is a tougher question than most people think. We grow up in our hometown. We might always talk about going somewhere else, but going back to question number 3, if you already have bought a house or you have a long-term job or relationship, maybe your parents are older and you help take care of them, you may not be as mobile as somebody who doesn't have family in the area anymore, doesn't have any kids, doesn't have a mortgage. If you're younger, generally you're more mobile. You can go outside of your immediate location. But you also have to ask yourself in that question, are you willing to be mobile? Many of the students that I work with when they're in high school say, as soon as I graduate, I'm getting out of here, I'm leaving the state, and I'm going to go do this, this, and this. But when they do graduate or they get into college, they decide to stay closer to home because that's what's comfortable for them. And leaving your immediate area is never going to be comfortable. It's always a risk. You're going to have to build a whole new network. You're going to have to learn the environment. The norms and culture can be different. So asking yourself if you're mobile is a much more complicated question than you might have originally thought. So put a lot of time and thought into that. That's not a simple yes or no question. Question number 5, do I have reliable transportation? So a lot of my high school kids, they get part-time jobs after school, but they're dependent on other people. They have to get a ride to or from, they might have to walk. If somebody's late to pick you up and take you to work, you could be late for work. All of those things are going to impact your employability. But if you do have somebody who transports you, say mom or dad, or uh, you have a neighbor who you pay to take you to work, those would be, I would say, reliable transportation. Question number 6, what support do I have? So when we think about where we want to go, we also need to think about what our responsibilities are right now. Do you live at home with mom and dad? Are they paying the bills? That's a form of support. Or do you live close to a family member that helps take care of your kids while you're at work? That's definitely a form of support. If you were to say, yes, I'm mobile, and you move away from those support systems, that's going to impact you. You're going to have to think about, okay, now that I've moved away, where do I get childcare? How much is that going to cost me? If somebody else was giving you a ride to work, but you move away, okay, now how am I going to get to work? What form of transportation am I going to use? Do you have somebody that you can talk to when you're stressed out? I know not every day is a great day at work. So when you come home, do you have somebody that you can vent to, talk to? Because if you just let all of that build up inside, eventually you're just going to have enough and you might snap on somebody or start yelling at your boss, and none of that is a good situation. So for question number 6, list out any type of support that you have from friends, relatives, neighbors, any support at all. Question number 7, how committed am I to changing my current situation? So once we get all these questions answered and you look at it and you might say, my situation really isn't that bad and I'm not that motivated to change it. But if you look at this current situation description and you say, wow, this is terrible, I need to get control of my life and I need to make some changes. Tell me how committed you are, because this process is a long process and it's a difficult process. Now, I had mentors, I had great teachers, great professors when I was in college, but this process took me 17 years from the time I was 14 and now I am 32. So make sure that you're super committed to making these changes if you decide to. Otherwise, they're just one more thing that you started and didn't finish. And that is the biggest time waster of anything that we do. And I'll talk about the importance of time in a future video, but don't start things that you're not intending to finish or that don't add to your situation. Going back to your job status, if you take on a second job, but that stops you from being able to do the things you actually want to do, and you're not able to save any more money, you're just spending it on things that you don't really need, that's not something that you should be taking on. Having one job, but making sure that you're being financially responsible, learning how to budget, those are going to be things that you want to focus on, not getting a second job just so that you have more spending money. Okay, question number 8. Are there any other factors that I need to consider before moving forward? There are a lot of things that we need to consider when we're setting a goal for our life. What are the relationships I currently have that I need to take into consideration? Who counts on me financially or even emotionally? We talked about your support system, but are you some part of someone else's support system? We need to consider those things. Do I really have the opportunity or option to move? Maybe you own your own home and you still owe more on your home than it's worth. It might not be realistic for you to sell that house because you're upside down in that mortgage. So think about those things. Is it an option for you to get further training or education, or is that an expense that you really can't take on right now? The great thing about being a high school kid is You might graduate high school and you have very little responsibility. And if you got good grades and test scores, colleges might be willing to pay you a lot of money to go to college. But if you're going to have to pay out of pocket and pay for tuition, books, fees, any materials that you're going to need, college really might not be an option right now. And you might have to look at a cheaper alternative. And we'll definitely be talking about that more later in the future. So just to give you an idea of what qualifies me to get on YouTube and talk to people about life choices and how to improve your financial and economic situation, let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I am 32 years old. I am a high school teacher. I have my bachelor's and master's degree from a local university. I've been married 8 years now to a great, very financially smart woman, and my life, I would say, is stably middle class. However, my life didn't start that way. Like a lot of the people who are going to end up watching this video, I grew up in poverty. My family received welfare. We got food stamps. And one thing that surprises most people from the middle class is we moved a lot. I've only lived in 2 cities in my entire life, but before I was 18 and graduated high school, I had lived in 17 different houses. So if you can relate to that, you also can probably relate to having other family members live with you. I can't think of one house that my family lived in that my uncle and his family didn't live in with us. And it causes a lot of chaos. Thinking back, there was always a lot of arguing, and there was no personal space, no quiet space for you to get away and work on homework. So school really became a refuge for me. Another thing that you should know and can probably relate to is I wasn't raised by my parents. My father went to prison when I was 2 years old, and my mom was 21 years old with 4 kids under the age of 5. So she really didn't have a lot of support. She wasn't sure how to raise 4 kids all on her own. So she had to figure out, okay, what do I do with life? And we ended up going to live with my dad's mom, my maternal grandmother. She took all 4 of us in because at the time she wasn't working. And this was a common theme in her life. Her kids had all grown up and she couldn't receive any type of government benefit anymore. And now she was put in a situation where she had to take care of her 4 grandkids. I give her a lot of credit for that. Like I said, I am married. We don't have any kids yet, and that was planned. We wanted to be financially stable. We wanted to make sure that we were set up before we had children. So now that I'm 32, my wife is 28, and we're thinking about having kids now. My student loans are paid off. She was lucky. She got to go to college for free because her mom worked at the university. I was not that fortunate. I graduated with significant student loan debt, and part of that is my fault because I used my student loans to pay to live. I paid for my car insurance. I made my car payments. Any books or food that I needed, I paid for those things. I was really lucky that my grandparents let me stay in their house till I was 25 and finished with my bachelor's degree. I know a lot of people don't have that option, so I view myself as very fortunate there. So that's a little bit of my background. Like I said, I teach high school business and senior transition. That's a class where I pretty much get kids ready for the next stage of their life. Before that, I was an Upward Bound coordinator. If you're familiar with those programs, it's a pre-college program for high school kids who want to go to college, but either they're first generation, meaning mom and dad didn't go to college, or they didn't finish college, or if they are low income or from an underrepresented group. We focused on all those groups of students to help them not only get into college, but to be successful once they were there. So my whole career has been dealing with this, and it was pretty on purpose that I chose that career because this is the stuff that I care about. I know that without other people, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So anything I can do to help other people get there and to have the success that I've had, that's what I want to do in life. So again, Thanks for watching my first video. Make sure to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to be notified every time I post a video, hit the notification bell. And again, check out the links in the description to check out my 2 books. This is probably the financial support that this channel is going to get for a while. I don't know how fast this channel is going to grow or anything like that. And that helps me upgrade equipment, make sure that I have everything I need to keep putting these videos together. So definitely make sure to do those things. Share these videos with people that you think are going to benefit from them. I'll post, like I said, twice a week, and a third video if I get enough comments or questions to put a third video together. If I don't get enough one week, maybe I'll save it till the next week and I will put together a video for the questions from 2 weeks. So thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.